Welcome to all. We are going to see about the interference and system capacity. So what is interference? Any signal that is disturbing the desired signal is called interference, we can say. It can be a neighboring signal or it can be an unwanted noise that is called as interfering signal. So what are the sources of interference? So the interference can be either from the another mobile signal that is present in the same cell or the call in progress in a neighboring cell. The third one is, suppose if the other base stations are operating in the same frequency as the current station and any other non-cellular system which is inadvertently, that means without intention, leaking the energy. So non-cellular system. So what is a cellular system means any system level approach in which the high power transmitter is replaced by a number of small power transmitters. That is called a cellular concept. So apart from it, there is another one system known as non-cellular system. In here you will be having a single high power transmitter. So both cellular and non-cellular systems are prevailing. So due to the non-cellular system which leaks the energy, that can lead to interference. So these are the sources of interference. Then what are the causes of it means? It leads to crosstalk. So more than one signals can be received by the receiver, or sometimes due to the interference the calls can be missed or blocked. So as the user is unable to identify the signal, it can be missed, or sometimes due to the amplitude level of the undesired signal increases, it can also be blocked. Then this is prevailing more. Interference prevails in which environment? In a more level means it is in an urban environment, because in the urban environment the noise due to other factors are more. That is, the noise floor is more in urban environment when compared to the rural environment. Then what are the types of interference? So anything that is any signal which is affecting the desired signal is called interference, I said. So what are the types of interference? It can be classified as co-channel interference and adjacent channel interference. So what is co-channel interference? We know in a cellular system a number of cells are there. If the cells that are using the same frequencies are called co-channel cells, we say. Since they are utilizing the same frequency, there is a possibility of interference between them. So this is called co-channel interference. Then what about adjacent channel interference? In a system, there will be a number of cells are there. These cells can be assigned some frequencies. These frequencies can be adjacent to each other. So this adjacent frequency can cause interference to the desired signal. Then another one term, out of band uses. So how this is happening means, because a number of cellular providers are present. So due to the competition among the cellular providers, they will try to have their base stations close to each other in order to provide a comparable coverage area among them. So this can lead to out of band uses. Another one thing is, so they are very close to each other, so the frequency components can form some cross product or intermodulation products or intermittent products like F1 into F2, F1 plus F2 and so on. And another one thing is, your user equipment can be overloaded. Because of this, out of band uses are occurring. So in a detailed manner we can see about the co-channel interference and system capacity. So due to co-channel interference, suppose I'm increasing the transmitter power. When I increase the transmitter power, your interference is not reduced, because in order to combat the co-channel interference, we will be trying with some methods. So initially they thought that if you increase the power, this co-channel interference can be reduced, but this is not happening. And what can be done? So by the increasing the physical separation of the cells, we can reduce this co-channel interference. That too, if we separate in a larger manner, means we have to increase the transmitter power in order to have a good footprint. So by minimum distance, the separation of the cells should be provided so that interference is also reduced and there is also a good coverage area even for the weakest mobile. Then suppose if the size of all cells are same, means this interference is not a function of the transmitter power. It depends upon the radius of the cell as well as the distance between the centers of the nearest co-channel cells. A term Q is used. Q is called the co-channel reuse ratio. That is equal to D by R. That is equal to root of 3n. If you increase the Q factor, that is the co-channel reuse ratio is increased, means the transmission quality can also be improved. If the Q factor or the reuse ratio is decreased, means the capacity will be decreased because it is directly proportional to the cluster size. When I increase Q, the transmission quality is improved because the distance between the centers of the co-channel cells are increased, it implies. So the interference level is reduced. Then signal to noise ratio. It depends upon the signal received as well as the summation of the interference. I0 refers to the number of co-channel interfering cells. S is the desired signal. IA is the interference power of the ith interfering cell. So what is the received power? The average received power at a distance D from the transmitting antenna is given by P0 into D by D0 the whole power minus n. So what is P0? It is a power received in a close reference point in the far field region at a distance D0 from the transmitting antenna. So what is the far field region? It is a region in which where the radiation pattern is uniform. Then what is N? N is the path loss component. Because the signals are traveling in air interface, it follows a path. So in that path, the path can induce some loss, that is called path loss component. This is not same for all the path. It will be different. Then if Di is the distance of the ith interferer from the mobile, then the average received power for the given mobile depends upon Di to the power of minus n. That is, it depends upon the distance. Then if the transmission power of all cells are equal and the path loss component is equal, then the formula for signal to noise ratio is equal to R to the power of minus n divided by the summation of the distance of the interference. Then next is adjacent channel interference. So why this is occurring means it occurs due to the imperfect receiver. Imperfect receiver means that is going to leak some power to the adjacent channels. So as it leaks the power, the base station will not be able to discriminate or differentiate the desired mobile due to the bleed over energy caused by the adjacent channel mobile. This leads to near far effect. What is near far effect? See, because you consider a mobile user is present, he is a subscriber, that person, the transmitter, nearby transmitter will be capturing the control of the receiver of the mobile user. So automatically there will be conversation taking place between the nearby transmitter and the receiver of the subscriber. Minimize. How this can be minimized? By using proper filters in order to overcome this interference, and the cells should not be assigned the adjacent frequencies. Suppose if F1 is allocated for cell 1, means F2 should not be allocated for its neighbor. Some Fn can be assigned to the neighbor. Then frequency separation between the channels for a particular cell should be large. Then some sort of channels are used. They are called as forward and reverse channel. So for voice and for control, we are having forward and reverse channel. So what is a forward voice channel? It is used for voice transmission from the base station to the mobile station. Reverse voice channel is used for voice transmission from the mobile station to the base station. Then control channels are there. What is forward control channel? It is used for initiating a call from the base station to the mobile station. Next one is reverse control channel. It is used for initiating a call from the mobile station to the base station. The control channels are also called as setup channels. Then power control. So why do we need power control? In order to reduce the interference. Who is going to control the power? Means the base station is going to control the power. Why this is done? In order to reduce the interference. Another one thing, in order to maintain the quality on the reverse channels. Then it also helps to maintain the battery life. Then reduces the signal to interference of the reverse channel. Then channel planning for wireless system. In a judicial way, channels has to be assigned to the cells. How? Means 5% of the total channels are allocated as control channels, and the remaining 95% are assigned as voice channels. So this is followed everywhere. Then another one type of planning is that is called F1 to F1 planning. In here, neighbor cells will be using a different channels when compared to its close neighbor. That too, near the water bodies this is applicable. So the neighboring cells will be using a different channel when compared to its close neighbor. Next one is breathing cell. Depending upon the coverage area. That is depending upon the number of users, the coverage area is varied. Because the number of users is changing day by day. So depending upon this, the coverage area has to be varied. Next is trunking. So what is the concept of trunking? See in here, large number of users is going to share a small number of channels in a cell based upon the demand. So where these channels are available? It is available in a pool. So from that pool, depending upon the demand, the users are allocated channels. Suppose when a call is completed, the channel will be returned back to the pool. Who founded this trunking theory? It was founded by the Danish mathematician Erlang. So what is 1 Erlang? It represents the amount of traffic intensity carried by a channel that is completely occupied. It represents the amount of traffic intensity. For example, if a user is making a call and a channel is occupied and he's utilizing the channel for 30 minutes, you assume, for an hour. So at that time, the traffic carried is 0.5 Erlang, we say. So 30 minutes is a channel occupied, we say, for the total 60 minutes duration for